Have you ever wondered what would happen if you stopped trying to fit in and fully embraced your INFJ nature instead of dampening your intuition and apologizing for your boundaries? The transformation is revolutionary, like a butterfly finally breaking free from its cocoon. In today's video, I'm revealing the 5 most radical shifts that occur when INFJs stop playing small and step into their authentic power. Each transformation builds upon the previous one, creating a powerful evolution in how you show up in the world. These are real changes I've witnessed in thousands of INFJs who finally decided they were done living according to everyone else's expectations. Before we start, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of our weekly deep dives into the world of personality types. And if you're looking to achieve a deeper understanding of yourself and your personality type, click the link in the comments to take our favorite free personality test. Shift number 1, the boundary revolution, radical energy detachment. The first transformation that shocks everyone around an empowered INFJ is what I call the boundary revolution. Picture this. The same person who would stay in energy-draining relationships for years, who would answer texts at 2 a.m., who would rearrange their entire schedule to help a friend move, suddenly vanishes from certain relationships without dramatic goodbyes or explanations. This shift seems to come out of nowhere for those around them, but in reality, it has been building beneath the surface for months, perhaps even years. INFJs function as emotional sponges, absorbing the feelings, needs, and problems of everyone in their orbit. While most personality types have natural barriers against emotional overwhelm, INFJs often lack these protective filters. Like a phone battery constantly running multiple power-hungry apps, the INFJ gives and gives, their energy levels dropping lower with each interaction. When the battery runs empty, a sudden, silent decision becomes the spark for self-reclamation. There is usually no dramatic confrontation, no tearful accusations, and no demand for change. Instead, what happens is much quieter and far more powerful. The INFJ makes an internal decision to redirect their emotional resources. They silently reclaim their energy without announcement or ceremony. To others, this sudden shift appears as coldness or abandonment. The person who was always available is now declining invitations. The friend who always responded instantly now takes days to reply. The confidant who patiently listened to hours of problems now changes the subject or ends conversations early. What makes this particularly jarring is the contrast between the before and after versions of the INFJ. The transformation is so complete that it leaves others wondering if they ever really knew this person at all. The formerly accommodating INFJ now enforces boundaries with a calm certainty that proves surprisingly resistant to guilt trips, manipulation, or appeals to their compassionate nature. Shift number 2. The authenticity uprising, unapologetic self-revelation. The truth about INFJs that nobody discusses is how extensively they hide themselves from the world. Behind those newly established boundaries lies an entire universe of opinions, passions, and complexity that's been carefully concealed, sometimes for decades. When this authentic self finally emerges, it transforms the INFJ's entire existence. Studies show that approximately 74% of INFJs admit to hiding significant parts of their personality, according to research conducted across multiple personality forums. These aren't minor preferences. These are core aspects of their identity, like a treasure chest locked away with only they possessing the key. The carefully curated version they present to the world feels safe, but creates a devastating psychological cost. Research shows that consistent self-censorship leads to a fragmented sense of self, manifesting as feelings of emptiness, depression, and a profound lack of purpose. The INFJ appears surrounded by people, yet experiences the paradox of feeling profoundly alone. The journey toward authenticity typically begins as a whisper rather than a shout. An INFJ might test the waters by sharing a slightly controversial opinion or mentioning an unusual interest they've kept hidden. Each authentic interaction serves as a small experiment, building confidence for the next revelation. I started with something small, mentioning my interest in astrology to colleagues who only knew me as analytical. Shares Maria, an INFJ who later transformed her entire career path. Their surprise gave me courage to reveal more of myself. What truly astonishes people is the depth and complexity of these revelations. The person everyone thought was straightforward or easily categorized suddenly reveals layers of contradiction, nuance, and passionate conviction. The transformation extends far beyond simply voicing opinions. It manifests in change fashion choices, newly embraced creative pursuits, spiritual explorations, or complete career pivots. The INFJ stops filtering every thought through the lens of how will this affect others, and begins the revolutionary act of speaking their truth regardless of potential reactions. This authenticity revolution creates a natural sorting process in relationships. Some people withdraw when faced with the real INFJ, while others draw closer, appreciating the depth and genuineness they now encounter. Scientific evidence supports this shift. Authentic self-expression is a cornerstone of mental well-being, fostering reduced stress, increased self-worth, and greater life satisfaction. Shift number 3, the power of pause, strategic silence as strength. As authenticity frees the INFJ to express their truth, a counterintuitive power emerges in what they choose not to say. The transformed INFJ discovers that their tendency to over-explain has been diluting their impact all along, and strategic silence becomes their most effective form of communication. Most INFJs spend their lives filling every moment of conversational quiet. They explain decisions in exhaustive detail, justify feelings with elaborate rationales, and bridge any gap in dialogue out of a profound desire to maintain harmony. During team meetings, they might spend 5 minutes explaining a simple decision that could be stated in one sentence, fearing misunderstanding if they don't address every possible concern. This compulsion exacts a heavy toll, depleting their limited energy reserves while diminishing the value of their words. The breakthrough comes when INFJs realize silence isn't an uncomfortable void. It's a powerful space they can own, like the deliberate pause before a conductor brings in the full orchestra. This shift evolves as they experience the impact of saying less. In meetings and conversations, they notice something remarkable. When they speak only when necessary, people lean in. Their words, now rare and deliberate, carry exponentially more weight. What makes this transformation particularly unsettling for others is its physical embodiment. The INFJ maintains unwavering eye contact where they once looked away. Their posture communicates grounded certainty. They no longer rush to fill pauses with nervous chatter or apologies for taking up space. The practical applications emerge in everyday situations, stating that's what I've decided rather than launching into explanations. When provoked, they respond with measured silence instead of defensive justification. In group settings, they comfortably observe, speaking only when they have something meaningful to contribute. This transformation quickly ripples through relationships. People who previously interrupted suddenly pay attention. Those who exploit the INFJ's tendency to over-explain often find themselves facing firm boundaries. Interactions that once drained the INFJ now leave their energy intact. Shift number 4, the intuition liberation. acting without overthinking. The newfound strategic silence of an empowered INFJ reveals another transformation that truly bewilders those closest to them. The overthinker who once spent weeks agonizing over minor purchases suddenly makes life-altering decisions with swift confidence. This seemingly sudden shift doesn't emerge from impulsivity. It comes from finally embracing their most powerful cognitive function, introverted intuition. For most of their lives, INFJs operate in a painful contradiction. Their dominant mental process is designed for rapid pattern recognition and holistic understanding, yet they systematically ignore these intuitive hits, instead creating elaborate spreadsheets and seeking endless external validation before making even trivial choices. The person who needs 3 months to select a paint color illustrates this internal battle perfectly, a tug-of-war between their intuitive knowing and their learned distrust of that knowing. The transformation begins when INFJs recognize that their intuition isn't some mysterious, unreliable emotional impulse, but rather a sophisticated information processing system. Their subconscious mind continuously integrates complex patterns and information, delivering conclusions that their conscious mind hasn't yet articulated. This cognitive architecture functions most efficiently when it is trusted rather than questioned. Others watch in astonishment as the formerly hesitant INFJ changes careers or moves across the country with absolute certainty. The person who once needed unanimous approval from 5 different friends before ordering at a restaurant now calmly states life-changing decisions as simple facts, offering minimal justification. This confidence emerges from finally honoring their natural cognitive wiring. This decisiveness manifests across all areas, from mundane daily choices to profound life directions. The INFJ might end a decade-long relationship after a single, revealing conversation, decline a prestigious job offer that appears perfect on paper, but feels wrong intuitively, or purchase a home after just one viewing because it resonates with their inner knowing. Critically, they stop attempting to translate intuitive insights into logical frameworks for others. The freedom comes in recognizing that their decision-making process doesn't require external validation to be legitimate. They no longer nervously compile bullet-pointed rationales to defend choices that stem from clear internal signals. Shift number 5. The energy shift. From absorber to sovereign. As intuitive decision-making liberates INFJs from endless explanation, another profound transformation occurs in how they interact with the energetic field around them. Did you know that most INFJs unconsciously absorb and mirror the emotional states of everyone in their vicinity? Their moods rise and fall with the emotional tides of their environment, creating a constant state of energetic instability that leaves many feeling like they exist at the mercy of external forces. This susceptibility to emotional contagion explains why an INFJ can walk into a tense meeting feeling perfectly fine and leave feeling anxious without any direct interaction causing the shift. Their highly sensitive nervous systems are designed to pick up on subtle emotional cues that others might miss entirely. The problem isn't their sensitivity, it's the unconscious absorption that happens without their consent or awareness. The revolutionary shift occurs when INFJs realize they can reverse this energy flow. Instead of entering spaces as receptive vessels asking, "What emotion am I supposed to feel here?" Logically, they begin consciously projecting their emotional frequency. They become like conductors of an orchestra rather than background instruments responding to every shift in the music. Research in social dynamics confirms what many INFJs discover through experience. The person with the most grounded, confident energy often unconsciously influences the emotional atmosphere of an entire group. Sovereignty manifests not as domineering energy, but as an unwavering presence. They no longer frantically adjust their emotional state to match everyone else's frequency or to avoid triggering negative reactions. They walk in as themselves, steady, authentic, and unmoved by the pressure to energetically shapeshift. This creates a fascinating ripple effect. The same people who once unconsciously drained the INFJ now find themselves subtly influenced by the INFJ's grounded presence. Conflicts that once sent the INFJ into anxious accommodation now wash over them without disrupting their internal state. And here we arrive at the more profound truth. These 5 radical shifts don't represent an INFJ becoming someone new. They're simply uncovering who they've been beneath years of accommodation. The transformation isn't about abandoning their nature, but embracing it fully. When INFJs prioritize their authentic needs and values, they transform perceived weaknesses into strengths. This journey is essential for realizing their unique potential and making meaningful contributions to others. The most powerful INFJ embraces sensitivity, intuition, and depth as strengths. By trusting their inner guidance, they inspire authentic living, creating ripples of positive change while awakening to their true essence. What's your experience with setting boundaries and embracing authenticity? If you want to continue the journey to understanding yourself or an INFJ in your life, click either of the following videos, where we continue to unlock the secrets of the INFJ personality type.